Hey everyone, let me ask you something. Have you ever had that moment where a single idea, like a chord progression, a melody, or even a riff, just clicked and felt like it could be the foundation of something legendary? Well, today we are diving into one of those rare, magical moments in music history. Picture this, a guitarist, sitting in his home studio, playing a riff so simple it could have been dismissed as just another experiment. But instead, it became the heartbeat of a Tom Petty classic. And here's the kicker, Jeff Lynne, one of rock's most meticulous producers, called it one of the last riffs left. What does that even mean? Let's unpack it. Now, I'm not here to just rehash the story of Runnin' Down a Dream. I want you to think about how often we take for granted the chaos behind the perfection. Mike Campbell, Tom Petty's guitarist, wasn't some studio wizard conjuring up masterpieces. He was just messing around with a riff in his living room. But Petty heard something in it, a raw, primal energy that screamed for a beat. And when he played it for Jeff Lynne, the man who's produced everything from Electric Light Orchestra to the Traveling Wilburys, he said those words, one of the last riffs left. What makes this really interesting is that Lynne wasn't just being polite. He was hinting at something deeper, that this riff was a relic, a rare gem in an era where music had become increasingly polished and predictable. It's like finding a dinosaur fossil in a parking lot, unexpected, but undeniably significant. And then there's the recording session itself. Imagine this, a tiny studio so cramped that extra people had to stand in the garage. Mike Campbell, the man who would later be immortalized in this track, is sitting there like a statue, eyes closed, back turned, playing a solo so intense it felt like he was channeling a deity. Petty and Lynne are watching, frozen in awe. This wasn't some carefully rehearsed performance, it was a one-take miracle. But here's what's wild. Campbell didn't even notice Lynne's stunned reaction. He was so lost in the music, he didn't realize he'd just created something that would define an entire album. From my perspective, that's the truest form of artistry, when you're so consumed by the moment that you forget anyone's even watching. Let's talk about the guitar. Campbell used a 1962 Gibson Les Paul SG Jr. Not some fancy modern X, but a vintage piece of hardware that just happened to be in the right place at the right time. This isn't just about the instrument, it's about serendipity. How many times have we all had that moment where the right tool, the right mood, and the right riff collided? It's like the universe conspired to make magic happen. And yet, Campbell himself admits he didn't even look for that guitar. He just picked it up. That's the thing about greatness, it doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes, it's about being ready when the opportunity drops in your lap. Now, stepping back, this story makes me wonder, how many other last riffs left are out there, waiting to be discovered? In an age where music production is so hyper-technical, do we even recognize the value of spontaneity anymore? Petty's approach here was refreshingly trusting. He didn't edit Campbell's solo, even when it went way beyond the planned structure. That's not just confidence, it's a statement about creativity. If you take a step back and think about it, the world of music is full of people who overthink every note, every beat, every effect. But here's Petty, letting the music breathe, letting the riff speak for itself. What this really suggests is that sometimes, the best art comes from surrendering control and letting the moment take over. So, what's your take? Have you ever had that one moment, a riff, a line, a melody, that felt like it could be the start of something incredible? Or maybe you've witnessed someone else's last riff left moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Because at the end of the day, stories like these remind us that music isn't just about technique or production. It's about the human element, the raw, unfiltered spark that turns a simple idea into a timeless classic.